Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats podcast, where today we're going through Arizona's resume with a fine-toothed comb to really figure out if the Wildcats should be number one. Spoiler alert, rank the Wildcats number one.
Welcome on in, guys, to the AZ Wildcats podcast, live from Studio K, presented by our friends over at Circle K. And may I remind the fine people that it is a Circle K fuel day today, 40 cents off per gallon if you're an Inner Circle Rewards member, and it's free to sign up and it takes 2 minutes. 40 cents off per gallon on your first or on your fill up today over at Circle K. So go take advantage of that Inner Circle Fuel Day. And shout out to our fine partners over at Branded Bills, Kevin, for presenting this podcast. Head on over to brandedbills.com. Use promo code BBPHNX and get 15% off your first order, like I said, over at brandedbills.com. Check out that great campus collection. I am, of course, Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas. We are the AZ Wildcats podcast, and we got a damn basketball team to talk about, Kevin, because the Wildcats have the best resume in the country. They are the rightful number one team. Whether or not they will be remains to be seen. But that's not what this show is going to be about. This show is going to be about how can Arizona peak at the right time? How can Arizona improve and work on this insane base that they've already built for themselves? The spine of this team, it's in a great spot. Now it's about adding all the rest of the bells and whistles, Mr. Kevin Thomas. But before we get into all of that, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Tired?
Feeling a little tired, but I do feel good.
My guy's grinding, writing articles till freaking 3 a.m. last night.
It's not necessarily true.
That's what Kevin Thomas wants to do for you people. That's how much he loves the people. He's like, well, how else can I add to this beat? I'll start writing articles after every game. That's my guy. My man.
Got to. But yeah, no, feeling good, feeling great, as some of the people in the chat are as well, with this non-conference that Arizona has come out firing in. We do shots fired in every pregame with our friends over at Three Amigos, and it feels like Tommy Lloyd received the message because he's firing shots at everybody in the country with these wins, these top 15 wins. I know saying top 25 is, similar to saying top 15, but you really got to put the emphasis on it because Arizona has 2 wins over a number 3 ranked team already this year, and then a top 15 team in UCLA as well. So the resume is stacked. The resume is only on pace to grow stronger, and we can go ahead and get into that conversation here off the top. It feels like all the talk of the nation right now in relation to Arizona basketball and the Big 12 and the Final Four picks and all that is Arizona has an undeniable resume as of right now, November 20th, and they're set for Big 12 play where you're going to play teams like Houston, BYU, Iowa State, real resume builders if you're able to get these wins in the conference schedule as well. If Arizona handles business against either or both Auburn or Alabama, I know San Diego State is also mixed in there, you're talking about one of the best non-conference runs we've seen in a quite some time, dare I say maybe ever, if Arizona is able to get that done, because the level of competition has been extremely high, but the level of execution from Arizona has been even higher. The level of toughness from Arizona has been even higher. Jervis in the chat is bringing up Krivas and Karchenkov. Krivas specifically has been playing at an extremely high level and is a big reason as to why Arizona is able to have the success that they've had this year, despite people like me saying he kind of isn't as good as we think he is, and he has these flaws and those flaws, but he's worked on those, and he's showing us his potential in live time. So like you said, the spine, the foundation of this team is incredibly strong. The season's foundation is incredibly strong. I want to pull up this tweet here from Matt Norlander of CBS. This is a graphic from CBS that says 3 wins versus AP top 15 teams in the first 5 games of the season over the last 30 seasons. It's Arizona in 96-97. We know what happened. And then Arizona in 01-02, losing in the Sweet 16 in the year of my birth. And then Gonzaga.
Crazy, by the way.
I know. Gonzaga in 2020 to 2021, losing in the national title game. And then Arizona this season with the result yet to be decided. So, Damon, I know we think Arizona should be number 1, right? But regardless of the rankings, just how are you feeling about the resume that Arizona is building for itself so far this season through only 5 games?
I mean, how could you not feel fantastic about it? There's one feeling I have, and it's elation, Kevin. It's joy. It's it feels fantastic. But as I put in my show tweet today, we've also been here before. I've seen a lot of regular season W's that fired me the F up, you know? Mm-hmm. But, I want to see this team do this in a late run in March. And I do think that this team is specifically built for that, right? And like you have that senior point guard, you have the dominant rebounding from big men that are upperclassmen, you have the elite freshmen to supplement it, and you have a lot of room to get better with those freshmen in particular. I love Arizona's spot right now. I really, really do. And yeah, I mean, it's I'm sure it's pretty, I mean, how could you argue? It's the best spot in the country.
It is.
You haven't shown, you've won the best games. You have the best wins, right?
You have 2 of the 3 best wins.
You have 2 of the 3 best wins. You've shown a lot in those games, but you've also shown that you can get so much better. And I think that we said this on the postgame show, but like a guy like Tommy Lloyd, that's probably like, that's the dream scenario. Is we're winning, we're beating good teams, we're in the forefront of the national spotlight, and we also have so much room for growth.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, and people in the chat are talking about that room for growth as well, and we're going to get into that after we talk about some of these resumes, because I wanted to break it down to brass tacks and explain just exactly how good Arizona's resume is compared to some of these other teams ranked in the top 3. Namely Houston, namely Purdue. And I also threw Gonzaga in there because not only were they in that graphic that we just showed from 2020, 2021, but they're also having a fantastic start to the year, and they're a dark horse pick for like a Final Four for some people as well. So I threw them in there because the start of the season has some people hyped.
And then they didn't cover the spread versus Arizona State. But that's fine. We'll leave that.
Yeah, I mean, good teams win, great teams cover. I mean, I think we've learned early Gonzaga might be a really good team, but not a great team because they didn't cover against ASU. But we're going to go ahead and start.
Who is underdogs to Hawaii today?
Oof.
Let's move on.
I mean, Hawaii looked really – I will say this. Your point is valid because that is quite a fall off for a Big 12 school, right? However, Hawaii did they should have beat Oregon in the non-conference this season.
Yeah, but Oregon stinks too.
I know, but it's still Dana Altman, and you're still Hawaii.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You literally have a tweet that's like, "What happened to my sweet Dana Altman?" Didn't you, or something?
I think I might have texted you that. I might have tweeted it, but yeah, I know. I don't know.
Hawaii also only beat Utah Tech at home by 6 points. Like they're not, and that's a hard travel game.
You know what? Yeah, you might be onto something with that one.
But here's what I need to throw this out here while I'm on the topic of it. And you said for a Big 12 team. We went to Rally House today to film some content for a Territorial Cup match that might be the most meaningful Territorial Cup match in the history of the entire rivalry. And they had Big 12 shirts there in the Rally House. And Kevin, this Big 12 basketball shirt said 16 strong on the back.
That can't be true. That can't be true.
We were like... I think Eric specifically said maybe more like 12 strong. 16 strong.
16 strong
conference
is kind of crazy. ASU's in your conference. Jerome Tang, who just beat Tulsa by 1 and is doing the lap like he won the national title, is in your conference. But
yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
I do want to shout out Cogs in the chat, who says, "Boys, Damon, Kevin, you got me wandering, man." Also, shout out to everybody else in the chat. Deborah, Max, Jervis, everybody. Collie Man and 180S. I don't know why
Is 8 count Jervis?
Yeah, I don't know why the nicknames turned into usernames.
That, man.
It's YouTube just doing sporadic stuff.
And they do it all the time. They switch it up on us all the time. It makes no sense.
Yeah, unlike the Arizona Wildcats.
Like this.
Arizona's consistent, YouTube inconsistent. But let's look at these resumes, Damon, so we can get into some areas of which Arizona can maximize their potential this season. I want to start with looking at Houston's resume. Sure. Now, I think Houston has a strong start to their non-conference. Undefeated, never lost, with a win over number 22 ranked at the time Auburn, which obviously they're going through a bit of a transitional period right now over there, and maybe not the best, highest quality team that teams thought or coaches thought or pundits thought that Auburn could be this year. Either way, that's a good, strong start to your year. But outside of that, you played Lehigh, Towson, and Oakland. Now, upcoming games, you do have Tennessee, Florida State, and Arkansas. That's a really tough matchup as well. I just don't think that this resume is even in the same zip code as what Arizona has accomplished. They have one top 25 win over one of the weaker top 25 teams at the moment. Arizona also will face that team, so we'll get a good idea as to Auburn's true level against Big 12 competition. And then you played Lehigh, Towson, and Trey Townsend's Oakland. We have people on Twitter sticking up for the Cougs saying that they should just remain in the top 2 above Arizona. I don't understand that. Arizona is a top 2 team in the country no matter how you cut it, right? Houston should be eliminated from this conversation. UConn, Arizona just defeated them, eliminated from the number 1 overall conversation. The only team I think that really has a real shooter's chance here is Purdue. Now, Purdue does not have the number of high-level wins that Arizona does, which is 3. However, they do have a win over number 8 Alabama. And that is a really impressive win, especially because it was a true road game.
Yes.
Similar to how Arizona's biggest win was a true road game, right?
And then Alabama last night just beat Illinois on the road.
Precisely.
In a true road game. So they're a legit team as well. It's not as if Alabama is like overrated as maybe Auburn probably was going into this season, right? Like Alabama looks pretty darn good.
Yes, Alabama does look pretty darn good. We know Nate Oates' teams, they're going to shoot. They're pretty much either shooting a 3 or a layup, and they don't really want any mid-range jumpers. They just don't want them.
You mentioned Purdue, and Sam Alberts showed up like as if it was like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
No one hates Purdue more than Sam Alberts.
Yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring there, but I guess not because I respect Braden Smith too much,
Yeah, but your TKR hate does maybe put you on the other end of the spectrum as well. Those might cancel each other out. Yes,
and speaking of Purdue, they started their non-conference with Evansville, Oakland. What is with team scheduling Oakland? I guess Trey Townsend leaves and everyone thinks they're free money. And then number 8 Alabama, and then they beat Akron as well. Now, I think the important thing here when we're talking about the upcoming rankings for Arizona is Purdue could beat Memphis, Rutgers, and Iowa in their upcoming games, and I think those are all pretty decent wins for Purdue there. In addition to already being ranked ahead of Arizona, I think I feel like maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the AP usually does not want to move a team from 1 unless they've done something to deserve getting moved down from 1, or the team that is moving up is like a brand biased darling, like a Duke or like a Kansas.
If we were Duke and we had our resume, we would have been
number 1 with a silver bullet.
We probably would have been number 1 after UCLA.
Yeah.
If we're keeping it a buck. But
1,000%.
We definitely would be number 1 after this game. If you're Duke, if you're Kentucky, if you're North Carolina, who, they want to be good so bad. It's like the how like Notre Dame in like the 2000s era when they were really, really bad was just ranked top 10 every year because they're like, dude, they have great recruiting classes and we know they're going to figure it out. And then they would kind of stink it up. Like this, it feels a little bit like that, but I don't know, man. I mean, I listen, the Arizona it does have a better resume than I think any of these teams when all things considered, but you're right. The AP poll probably is not going to move Purdue down after not having earned moving down, right? They didn't do anything to deserve it. They didn't even really play a close game with a team that they should have not been in a close game with, right? Like I know I talk a lot on this show about like contextualizing like kind of bad wins in a way, like wins that such as like a ASU West Virginia football game this weekend, for example. There are times where you're not necessarily like looking super good in a win versus a team that you probably should have had easy work against, right? Purdue hasn't really had that situation either. So I feel like you're right. I don't see the voters moving them down. I do see Arizona going up to number 2, though.
I do, and they deserve to be number 1. I think, and the reason I threw Gonzaga into this conversation is because I think we could be looking at a potential upcoming number 1 team in the future if they were to handle business the same way we're talking about Arizona potentially handling business. Listen to this, Damon. And did you know Gonzaga's non-conference was built like this? Because I did not. They had unranked Oklahoma, but that's still power conference money. They
were pretty good last year.
Yeah, they were still good last year. They had Jeremiah Fears on that roster last year. Now in the NBA, the Zero Fears jersey going triple platinum. And then they beat number 23 Creighton as well. That's a very good win over that Nebraska squad.
By $1 million.
Yeah. And then unranked.
Lost money.
Of course, unranked. Arizona State, they get the W there, but as Damon alluded to, they did not cover the spread. But here's where it gets really interesting. Their upcoming games, Damon, number 11 Alabama, Maryland, number 12 Kentucky, and UCLA in there as well. Obviously, I only really put the notable upcoming games here. I mean, I'm not going to put like Arizona versus Denver and Norfolk State in their notable upcoming games. But I think it's really interesting what Gonzaga has a chance to do as well this season. Some people kind of eyeing them as dark horses, and Tommy Lloyd, we know, comes built from that tree. It's pretty cool seeing Mark Few get it done as well. But yeah, to wrap up this one, after breaking it down, there's no way, if you were looking at it objectively, that Arizona is not the number 1 team in the country right now.
I think if there was an NCAA tournament tomorrow and the committee had to put together a bracket, I think Arizona is the number 1 overall seed, right? Like if you're truly breaking it down like that, but there's obviously a lot of season left, a lot of high profile games on Arizona's schedule left that they're going to have to continue to prove that they belong as the number 1 team in the country or in one of those like top 2, top 3 spots. But certainly have, every right to be, thinking that as an Arizona fan that we should be number 1, in my opinion, because from a resume standpoint, you definitely beat out those other teams. Purdue, pretty solid resume, especially with that road top 10 win against Alabama. But yeah, other than, Arizona, two top 10 wins, including a true road one. It's hard to argue otherwise.
It is.
You even see Purdue fans saying it online, right? Like I've seen a lot of back and forth with Purdue fans and Arizona fans. I think that the general kind of sentiment is that it's people are not being that nasty back and forth. I see a lot of Purdue fans being like, "You guys got a really good team, but the AP poll is not going to move us down after winning like we have."
Yeah,
and it's probably just the facts, right?
Now, if they lose to Memphis tonight, though, you're Arizona number 1 with a bullet.
Memphis, Maine.
Penny Hardaway, what you on, man?
What can you do for me, Erica? What can you do for me? Speaking of, I don't think I've seen Erica in this chat. We're going to have Erica on tomorrow to talk a little bit of Arizona women's basketball preview versus NAU, but the show hasn't started because Erica's not here.
You're actually watching a fake podcast.
Hopefully it starts a little bit later.
I'm with it. And like I said, Purdue does play Memphis tonight. Houston plays Rider tonight. And Arizona is waiting 4 more days until they play Denver on November 24th. So that is the current state of the AP top, I'll say 3 or 4 right now, and really, really trying to hammer in that Arizona has the best resume in the country. And if we're talking about, like, what is the point of the AP poll? What is the point of doing weekly rankings, which are, in a sense, power rankings, but also, like, resume rankings in a way? I feel like it's kind of a joke if Arizona is not number 1, considering what they have done in such a short amount of time. But that is neither here nor there, I suppose. Damon and I have a lot more to get into. Next, we're going to talk about pain points for this Arizona basketball team. What are some things that we think need to be ironed out if Arizona is going to reach its potential this season and continue to evolve as the season goes on? And we have a very special ad read coming up. So stick around, leave a like, drink your water. Do not go anywhere. Unless you're looking for a good time, in which I encourage you to go to Fascinations, ladies and gentlemen. And I do mean ladies and gentlemen, because anyone can go. Shibuya roll call. Anyone can go to Fascinations. This is the holiday season. Get what you really want at Fascinations, where they have everything to make your nights merry and bright. Now, spice is the flavor of life, folks. And if you want to get into that, you don't have to go into the store. I think that's like maybe may be the worst part about it, if I'm being honest. Going in the store as a man is like, yo, do I belong in here? I'm getting weird looks. I don't know if that's the move. Fascinations has you covered. You can buy online and pick it up in the store. Fast, easy, totally discreet. Shop online at fascinations.net or visit one of their 12 locations. 12 of them in Arizona, because, ladies and gentlemen, what happens under the mistletoe stays under the mistletoe. Use promo code PHNX30 at checkout to receive 30% off your order. That's PHNX30 off your order, or for 30% off your order at fascinations.net. Fascinations, naughty list approved.
Wow. What a good tag at the end, too. Kevin, you crushed that, my man.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're excited to welcome our brand new sponsor of Fascinations to this show. But I also need to talk to you guys about Circle K, because it is, in fact, a fuel day. You can save 40 cents off per gallon if you are an Inner Circle Rewards member. And that is until, I believe, midnight tonight. I think that goes until the clock turns to November 21st here. And let me tell you how easy it is to sign up for the Inner Circle app. You download a free app, go into the App Store, just type in Circle K. It'll be the first thing that pops up. Download the free app, choose an email, choose a password, and you're done. Then you'll save 25 cents off per gallon in your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents off per gallon every time you fill up after that, 5 cents every gallon every time that you fill up once you become a premium status member like me and Kevin and the rest of the PHNX crew. And those do stack, Kevin. So if you go today during the fuel day and you sign up for the Inner Circle Rewards membership today, 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, you will be able to stack that with 65 cents off per gallon for today only. So take advantage of the big time savings that are right in front of you, because it is so simple to sign up. I know there's a Circle K like a stone's throw away outside of wherever your residence is, because it's Arizona, guys. There's Circle K's all over the place, right outside your work, right outside where you live. They are legit everywhere. Take advantage of it, save some money, and join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
And I must say, I did partake myself in the Circle K Fuel Day today and saved 40 cents off. So that is real. That is real savings in your pocket.
Is which ad read did you guys like more? Mine or Kevin's? Feel free to. I want to see it in the comments. Maybe we start a poll or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Kevin might take the cake here, but
literally,
that was not a.
I'm just saying,
not a euphemism.
Yeah, literally. You know, I shared a chocolate banana bread cake with Damon yesterday. That is true. That is a fact. Anyway,
Jervis, you're kidding yourself. You might have been the number one person that loved Kevin's ad read. Are you kidding? You're getting to type in some jokes about what I might have said allegedly on the podcast the other day.
Podcast not real.
Yeah, not a real podcast.
That was AI. But hey, man, Cogs, you can get some homemade cake as well. But let me know how to facilitate that, and I can get that your way. Anyway, talking about Arizona basketball, Damon. Talking about some pain points. Talking about some areas in which Arizona can iron out some wrinkles and kind of get to their full potential, because I think we should probably start here by saying that this Arizona team that we're bigging up so much, that has, really impressed the nation in a lot of ways with their non-conference resume, has not yet played their best basketball, right? And I think that there's a variety of reasons for that, right? We can talk about Braden Burries. We could talk about, 3-point shooting. We could talk about consistency of play. We could talk about end of game execution. We could talk about a variety of things, that like turnovers, that some people, fans, pundits, Damon, me, have pointed out as things that we want fixed this year for Arizona basketball. But like you said earlier, it is truly wonderful that Arizona is 5-0 with 3 top 15 victories and all this experience to learn from, and has yet to be punished for any of its mistakes. Yeah. And I think that is key for Arizona right now, especially relying on freshmen as much as you do in Braden Burries, Koa Peat, Karchenkov, Aristo, the list goes on. You need to allow them to learn and not get burned by it. And they're not getting burned by it. Braden Burries is getting all these free opportunities pretty much to learn the game and get real, intense crunch time experience against top 15 teams. And his team does not necessarily, I'm going to use air quotes, need him to produce in order to get these games won. However, if Arizona, like I said, if Arizona's going to reach its full potential this season and make its first Final Four since Damon and I have been breathing pretty much, I mean, Braden Burries is going to have to be a part of that. But yeah, is that where you want to start? Is that pain point number one for this Arizona basketball team?
I think it's the most obvious one, right? I mean, Jaden Bradley has picked up a lot of the slack, I think, from the backcourt standpoint of end of games, creating off the dribble, penetration off of drives. Like Jaden Bradley has been doing all of that for Arizona, and it's worked out, right? But Braden Burries definitely hasn't played, his part that a lot of Arizona fans expected going into this season. Kevin, if I asked you before the year, how many points would Braden Burries average? Like, what would you have said?
I probably would have landed on 13 and a half, like 13 to 15 in that range.
I think I would be in the same exact spot as you. I think that I would have thought that there's kind of going to be like a good 4-5 players that are kind of in that 10 to 15 point range, and he would be one of them. He's only averaging 7.8 points per game right now. And obviously it's early, couple good games, that changes like that.
I'm kind of surprised it's even that high.
Well,
not to be disrespectful.
He had an 18-point game at one point.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I think that's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
4, 5, 9, 18, 3 are his 5 games here. Listen, he's a freshman. I got a comment last night, and this is fair. I believe it was from Doug in Tucson on Twitter, and he was saying he didn't like that I said that Braden Burries has been bad this season. And I hear out his points. Like he was essentially saying Koa is so good that like it almost makes the polarization of what Braden is doing look
totally
even worse.
Yeah.
That the expectation shouldn't be that a freshman is just effing ready to go in Storrs, Connecticut in game 5 of his college career, playing his peak basketball. I 100% agree with all of that. And I myself still hold out high expectations for Braden Burries. I am not selling my Braden Burries stock. In fact, I'd like to buy some. If you guys want to sell your Braden Burries stock, I'd like to buy some more. Because right now is the low point. You know what I mean?
Load up 100%.
Now.
Buy low.
Diamond hands. Like this is, I'm right here, Kevin. I'm right here. Give me all the Braden Burries stock.
You're the guy in the mine that's next to the diamonds. He's going to keep digging, though. He's not going to quit.
That being said, he's hurt the team so far. He really has. And you made a good point yesterday. Like, and I think this was off air. You said, like, my deferral would always be, like, how would they describe their own performances thus far? And I think all of these players are, like, they have the right mentality. They'd all tell you they have stuff to improve upon. I think that, like, Jaden Bradley would be like, yeah, I got to do this and this better, but also I've been hooping.
Yeah.
Like, come on. You can't say otherwise. Koa Peat would be like, man, like, they can't stop me, but like I gotta like get a little bit better at this, and this. I gotta be able to hit an outside shot here and there, right? Like certain little things. But I think Braden Burries would straight up tell you, I have played my worst basketball of my career in these first 5 games. And you know what? That's fair. He's a freshman, but we need to start seeing some steady improvement. Especially, I think a good start would be in these games versus Denver and Norfolk State. Why not, Kevin? Like, why can't Braden Burries go out there and give you the 18 points he gave you against, I think it was Utah Tech in those games?
Yeah, no, I think, wait, the question was why can't he do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean
it's rhetorical, but.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
No, I got you.
Yeah, I got you. But
I tune you out all the time.
But look, he scored 18 against Utah Tech, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with your initial question of like, why can't he do it? Well, he kind of already has hinted at being able to do it against Utah Tech, where he shot 7 for 16, 3 for 6 from 3, that 18-point game that's skewing his average high, 3 and 3, 4 steals as well, but he did have 4 turnovers to kind of balance that out, I suppose. But I think when I'm thinking about Braden Burries, and I think it's undeniable that maybe the term pain point is a bit harsh or a bit too specific to a certain vibe of the conversation, but I think in general we're talking about ways in which Arizona can maximize potential. And if they're going to do that, that involves Braden Burries. If Arizona is going to be the best version of itself in 2025-26, it needs Braden Burries to, at a minimum, be productive. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be a supernova, doesn't have to be averaging 25, just has to be productive, right? Like I would take like 10, 3 and 3.
For sure.
Literally. I would take 10, 3 and 3. on a consistent basis, if you're getting 3 assists, 3 rebounds, getting involved, maybe picking up a couple steals here and there, I would take that from Braden Burries. And I think he's working his way towards that right now. And I think we've been talking about it.
With less turnovers. I think that's the main thing for Braden is that right now he has more turnovers than assists on the season. By one, but it's still more turnovers than assists on the season. And that needs to change for me. Like, that's my main thing. I think I said that yesterday as well. You're going to miss some shots. You know what I mean? He's like, not everybody's playing, their peak basketball right away. Like, he'll find that, in my opinion. I do worry a little bit about, like, when he makes a bad turnover and then he dribbles up the court and doesn't realize that there's a guy running behind him about to poke the ball out, right? And
got Devin Bookered.
Yeah, and UConn is slamming bodies into him for sure. Like, I'm not denying that, but when he's already turned the ball over, I need him to have more care for the basketball in those moments, and I feel like I haven't seen that from him enough this season. I think the efficiency will have a positive regression. Like, I don't think there's any doubt about that from a shooting standpoint. I do think that we need to monitor his playmaking and how he takes care of the basketball.
I think so too. I also think continuing to monitor his defense as well, I think is key. Bill said it in the chat that his defense has been good. I would, I guess, not counter, but I would adjust and amend it by saying, like, his defense has become better as the season went on. Like, night one against Florida, you threw him to the, I was going to say Sharks. You literally threw him to the Gators, right? You know what I mean? And they had him on stagger screens. They were running him around. He's getting bumped around. He's getting knocked off his position. He didn't look ready for that level defensively. Utah Tech, NAU, UCLA goes by, and he starts to improve defensively. 4 steals against Utah Tech, 1 steal against NAU, 2 turnovers against NAU, 3 steals against UCLA, but also 3 turnovers. Like, to Damon's point, for everything good he's doing defensively, he's almost counterbalancing it with negative offense, right? And the shots, I'm worried about it, but I'm not like really, DEFCON 1, panic button's not really on the table for me right now with the shot, because it's going to eventually fall. He's so talented, it's going to eventually fall. Now, if he's 1 for 9, 3 for 7, 1 for 6, like he was against NAU, UCLA, and Florida, you can't really have that. You do need him to get a couple makes a game. And I feel like that should not be too crazy of an ask for a guy like Braden Burries, who can score at multiple levels, right? Mostly driving and mostly spot-up shooting. But he can score at multiple levels and get himself involved. So I would love to see him continue to improve on the defensive intangibles and the defensive, the small things on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And I hope that the offense follows. And like you said, take care of the ball. Defense and take care of the ball. That is how freshmen stay on the court, by the way. You could apply that to Carter Bryant. You could apply that to Dwayne Aristode. You could apply that to, I don't know, any freshman across the country dating back to when basketball started. How do you get on the court consistently? Defense and ball security, right? That's how you impact winning as a freshman. And Braden Burries is almost there, but not quite. And the shot, I think, is secondary. It's going to work itself out. I think we should all leave that to the pros, like the player development people over at Arizona, and really more talk about what we see with our eye test, which is that his defense has to continue to scale up and his ball security has to get better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that side of things. I think Braden Burries is the most obvious thing or just like single piece of improvement that Arizona can make, but he is certainly not the only, place for improvement or avenue for improvement that Arizona can make. So we don't want to make this into like a Braden Burries has been killing the team podcast because we think that this team has played such a high level of basketball despite not getting what we know they can get out of Braden Burries. Yes. And that is, much better play than what we've seen thus far. And another one of those guys is Dwayne Aristode. And I think that this one is a little bit more convoluted in the way that like Dwayne was never going to be the guy who was just going to see insane volume, see, 30 minutes a game. Like that was never going to be the case. We've talked a lot about like him in comparison to Carter Bryant and, who would have more of an impact as a freshman, both of them being guys that are coming off of the bench. So far, looks like Carter Bryant winning that battle, right? Correct, but it's really, really early. And there were times where Carter Bryant was not really all that effective for Arizona last season. In large part, Dwayne Aristode has not been given like the most run in the world. So how can Dwayne Aristode, in your opinion, Kevin, as the chief Aristodian, how can Dwayne Aristode improve, and what else can he bring to the table for this Arizona team?
I mean, I'm stating the obvious, and I'm beating a dead horse here, but it starts on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
The man has a really great frame for defense, and he has really good defensive instincts, and he plays intense defense when he's out there. So I think it starts with playing well on the defensive end. I think on the offensive end, it's tough because he's like Braden Burries, has been thrown into the deep end of the pool, and he knew how to swim before he got the injury, and now he's trying to swim again, and he's a little rusty, a little stiff, and it's not quite hitting the same. And I think he's kind of getting warmed up into it the same way that Mo Krivas took some time to get warmed up into it. I think Dwayne Aristode is going to be fine. I think I can, through 5 games at this point, kind of say that, to me, I feel as an Aristodian that maybe I was a bit ahead of my skis for what he could do and bring to this team day 1, day 3, day 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think
that
is...
You were also very high on Ivan Karchenkov, and you seem to be potentially right in that regard. So, you win some, you lose some. We say a lot on this podcast every day.
True. And game ain't over. Season ain't over. Dwayne Aristode still has a chance to be a productive member of this. I ain't hear no bell. The Aristodians going to the Carter Bryant off. But
Carter Bryant off.
People on Twitter calling Carter Bryant a performative male. Have you seen this?
Look at the book.
Looking at the book? Yeah. Reading the book.
He LeBron the book.
Carter Bryant actually reads, right? You have to believe that.
I mean, the Bible.
I believe Carter Bryant actually reads.
That looked a lot like LeBron reading.
It did look like LeBroning. It did look like
maybe it was just on an unfortunate timing in that he actually had just started that book. But it certainly looked like he was on page numero uno, Kevin.
Hey man, to finish a book, you gotta start a book. You know what I mean?
He also might have been sleeping in that damn photo. He was like,
yeah. He does listen. He does listen to Claro. And there's some other, some things out there that he might be a performative male. I don't know. I don't think he's a performative male. The internet is saying it, and I'm trying to stick up for our guy Carter Bryant, who I think does read.
The curtain here, inside joke in our production office. Kevin is the performative male of PHNX.
I'm not though. I mean, they want me to be, but I'm not though.
The fact that he gets so offended, it makes you think like,
what? Okay, see that puts me in a box where I either defend myself and now I'm defensive, or I don't defend myself and it's like, see, he didn't say he's not.
Pocket with me, Kevin.
Yeah, no, he's like Gervonta Davis.
People in boxes, dog. This is what I do for a living. This is why I sit up here and have this job. It's because I fight with people on Twitter for a job.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't want to be in the pocket with Damon. But getting back to Dwayne Aristode, I do think it starts on the defensive end. And I think it starts, how do I like my matcha? With oat milk and iced, right? That's the only way to...
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, he's calling me a performative male. No! Wow. And I answered the question. No!
Oh, wow.
Oh, Cogs, I was going to get you cake, man. I was going to get you cake. You know what? No more cake. I will take my matcha. I will take my book, and I'll eat my cake on my own. That was ridiculous. I just got owned crazy. Oh, that hurt my soul. Dwayne Aristode. I shall start this again. Dwayne Aristode, defensive end, and I think offensively being decisive, being aggressive on offense. We saw it against NAU. Now, he's not going to be able to do what he did against NAU, against UConn, against UCLA. Like, it's not that easy. But I do think it starts there. Like, what we saw Dwayne Aristode do against NAU was be aggressive, be decisive, and try to take over some moments in that game. And it seems like it was at the direction of Tommy Lloyd, which I think tells me that Tommy Lloyd sees a lot more production in Dwayne Aristode today than we're getting. And I think it's kind of about getting there and trying to find ways in which he can be effective himself in the flow of the offense. And I think it's hard right now because there's so many mouths to feed. There's so many wings on this team that deserve playing time. And he is still trying to come back from being a long time away from the game, a little bit rusty. So, patience, like with Burries, with Aristode, patience. But right now, I think concern is like not the word. If anything, like a little underwhelmed with what Dwayne Aristode's brought to the table so far.
Concern level out of 10.
For Aristode?
Yeah.
Like concern level?
Yeah, 10 being I feel great, 1 being I feel horrible.
Then it's like a 9.5. I really feel fine with Aristote. I think, well, cause here's the thing. I think like his frame is adored by like NBA draft people. His defensive skill sets are there. And I think by the time the end of the year, he could still be an impact player, specifically on the defensive end of things. So I'm not selling my Aristote stock yet. I'm not too concerned, but there's a 0.5% ounce of doubt in my mind about Dwayne Aristote.
In the 3 high-profile games Arizona's played this season, he's averaged 8 minutes per game.
And put up this many points. Literally.
Correct.
0.
And so he played 6 against Florida night 1, 9 against UCLA, and 9 against UConn. Obviously, Tommy is playing him sparingly and choosing his moments, particularly because he doesn't fully trust him yet. And that's fine. You can't trust, all 13 guys that are scholarship players on your roster. There has to be, some signs of development, guys that are not as ready, guys that are more experienced and more grizzled. That's just basketball, right? I don't think that's reason to be concerned about necessarily, but I do think it does show that he is clearly not in the immediate, when we win a national championship, Dwayne Aristote's going to be a key cog in that plan as it's currently standing, right? And I think that maybe you would argue that to win a national championship, you need that to change, right?
Yeah,
you need that extra, firepower from a bench guy like that.
You need, real quick, I feel like to continue on that little pin of information, you need one of Karchenkov or Aristote to be awesome, I think.
Yeah,
consistently.
I agree with you.
Consistently. I don't think they both have to be really strong. If they're both really strong, we're talking about who's stopping the Cats. You have one of the best front courts. Now you're 3 deep at the wing, and if Braden Burries wakes up, you're 2 deep at that's an insane team. So I think just in trying to think of it realistically, who can get fed on this team, one of Karchenkov or Aristote are going to eat this year. And right now it looks like Karchenkov, but by the end of the year it could be Aristote, and you never know what happens. So I'm with you on that. In order to get where they need to go. In the
Carter Bryant mold of things, there were games where Carter Bryant was insane. There were games where he was taking over in moments. It felt like so we could see runs like that. I think of greatness from a Dwayne Aristote if he finds the right opportunity, but so far hasn't been the case for Arizona. Now let's talk a little bit about the 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot on this show about it. Tyler Warden came here in the chat yesterday after the win and brought up how Arizona is I believe 360th out of 364 or maybe 65 teams in all of college basketball in 3-point attempts. Now, I made the take of you're not going to be winning a national championship or cutting down nets for that matter if you're 360th in anything in college basketball, right? You got to be way more, I think, at least in the middle portion of that. You could even be on the back end. You just got to be way, way, way further towards the mid 200s, in my opinion, because I don't think you can play sustainable winning basketball, especially in March when you can lose when one team just starts shooting hot, and that's not your game plan at all. So you're trading 2s with their 3s constantly. And that's how you end up losing a game against a team that you're worse than. So I think that the 3-point volume needs to see an uptick. You've obviously pushed back against that a little bit. Slept on it, Kevin? You maybe a little bit more on Damon's side here?
No. I mean, I think I'm just about as much leaning towards your side as I was the other night of I would like to see them shoot a couple more 3s, but if it's at the sacrifice of a Koa Peat layup, I'd just rather them not. Because I think the offense that Arizona is going to be predicated on this year is going to be so high percentage that I don't really want them to chase 3s and then end up shooting a low percentage of 3 and lose a game by 4 points. Oh, wait, that's what UConn did last night. One of the most efficient teams from inside the 3-point line decided we're going to shoot 25 3s or whatever it was and make 8 of them, right? And go away from Caravan inside, go away from, I know you didn't have Terrace Reed. I understand that, UConn fans. But go away from your front court. Go away from solo ball getting downhill. Go away from getting easy buckets in the mid-range, which is easy buckets for UConn, one of the most efficient teams in the country. And Arizona was able to force them away from their game and force them to make 3s, which solo ball could not do, shooting 1 for 8 from behind the arc and shooting them out of that game. They lose by 4 points. 2 possessions. in a game where you shot that many threes as a team that is not that team. And I don't want Arizona to fall into that same trap. So I would love them to shoot more threes, but only if it comes within the flow of the offense. And I think we're going to see that throughout. I think it's going to start to even out a little bit. I think like you said earlier about Braden Burries, I'll say it about Arizona's three-point shooting. You'll see some positive regression with the volume, but I think the efficiency is fine. What were they, like 75th in efficiency per Tyler Warden? Pardon me. And as I'm looking at it now, they're 80th percentile in three-point percentage, but they're second percentile in attempts. So you could even argue that they should be shooting more because they can shoot it at an efficient clip with volume, right?
100%. I think I said yesterday, I'd rather see, 70% in percentage, but 25% in attempts.
Yeah.
Like I would take a downtick in the efficiency for an uptick in the attempts because the math's there.
Yeah, it does. And that's why I don't think like you're straight up wrong. I don't think there's like a right or wrong way to see it, to be honest with you. And I think as long as Arizona's winning games, that's kind of what matters most. If the offense is good enough to get you through these wins, the offense is good enough to get you through conference play as well. So
I was kind of dancing around it, and my general point was that you'll lose to a team that you start shooting hot against you in an NCAA tournament, especially if you're not even trying to attempt three-pointers at like a really respectable rate. But Sam kind of like pinpointed the crux of it a little bit for me. What if you match up against an Alabama? What does that look like? Can Arizona even begin to try to trade buckets with them? I mean, I guess you could just throw it down low to Krivas and hope he has the game of his life. But personally, I think that is a really bad matchup for the Cats. And there are teams that are maybe not, like Alabama is the steroids version, the Charizard, if you will, of like run and gun, 3-point shooting teams.
They're NBA ball.
For sure.
Threes and layups.
For sure. But there are other teams that play similar style systems that, at a slightly lower caliber that you'll face in the tournament potentially. And those teams could run you off the court as well. That's the thing that I like, the like scary nightmarish scenario that I can't shake as a much scarred Arizona fan who's seen it many times before.
When I look at Alabama, I know it sounds kind of like crazy to say this, but obviously if they're hot, they're hot. But like they have to be hot in order to make that happen. And they could go on a heater and get it done against Arizona, in the non-conference. But can they do it 6 straight games in March? 6 straight games of elite level shooting? I'm not so sure that they can do that, especially with the way that the defenses go up in intensity in March. I think it's going to be hard for them to get that done. Like as we look at the loss to Purdue, I checked the box score here real quick. They shot 43%, or no, that's Purdue. They shot 43% from 3 in that game. Alabama shot 43 3-point attempts in that game, made 16 for 37%, and they lose by 7 points. I feel like Purdue shooting half their amount of threes on a higher efficiency, it could be like a similar result for the Arizona game, where is Taylor Bull-Bowen going to stop Koa Peat? And I like Taylor Bull-Bowen. I like his game. But absolutely not. He's not strong enough.
But there's also a huge difference between, 17 3-point attempts in a game versus like 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah.
That's a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. I understand. I'm not asking to shoot 34 like Alabama, but I would like to see like 15.
Yeah.
I think that's like a good, fine, healthy number, 15 to 20 attempts per game. Like that seems reasonable to me.
And I think you might get that against Alabama because what's Bama's thought process going to be in this game? Pack the paint, make them outshoot us, right? And if you have ADO open on a kick out, if you have Karchenkov open on a kick out, hell, if you even have Aristote open, Jaden Bradley open on a kick out, they've proven that when they're open, they can make it. I know that Karchenkov had a rough one last night from 3, but he's also shown that he can make those shots as well. Mm-hmm. And it never looks bad, right? It's just a tough result. So I think that Arizona can get it done even if Alabama's hot from 3. I really do. Because the defense of Arizona is going to be no easy buckets for Alabama. LeBaron Philon had better go absolutely nuts, right? And if that's the case, then, so be it. But I think the way that Purdue beat Alabama, Arizona can replicate that as well. They have just as good of a front court as Purdue. It might not be as I guess it is actually just as big in size, but they don't really have two two 7'2" guys like Purdue does. They have Oscar Clough and they have that Jacobson kid. So they have a lot of height on their side there. But I think Arizona can play a similar game to Purdue in this one and get it done against Alabama. I know that's getting ahead of ourselves here, but yeah. But I think the idea that Alabama could be kryptonite, totally valid. Because if that team gets hot, watch out.
Well, and that's kind of the factor I think that I want to point out as well. I think if Arizona beats Alabama, that doesn't even necessarily prove what I'm saying wrong. Because I'm talking about in a tournament setting when it's do or die time. If Arizona loses to Alabama because Alabama gets crazy hot from 3 in Birmingham, which is essentially going to be a home game for them, I'm not going to lose my skis about it and be like, man, this Arizona team sucks, right? Like that. There's a lot of season left. You got one of the best 3-point shooting teams, if not the best 3-point shooting team, on a bad night, right? But the problem is when you're in a do or die situation and a team like that gets hot, like how do you counteract it? And I don't know that trading 2s all night long is the way to counteract a hot shooting team from 3 in a tournament setting. That's more my fear. It's specifically in like an elimination style setting than a regular season game.
I'm trying to fact check myself here in live time before I go out on my skis and say something stupid, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, see, I would have sounded real dumb. I would have sounded real dumb by saying that. I was going to say the way you do that is make Alabama make their 2s, because I'm sure they're not very good at making their 2s compared to 3s. And that's just simply not true.
Their whole offense is just nice.
Yeah, their whole offense is very nice. But I do think Arizona has a defense that can make it challenging on them and really force it to literally be either 3s or layups. And the layups are going to be very hard to come by against a team like Arizona with as much size as they do. But they are 99th percentile in 3-point attempts per game. I just wanted to point that out. They're literally as crazy as you can get from shooting the 3 ball. But Damon, we do have a couple more pain points to get to, and then we can kind of segue that out of today's show. But before we do that, we do have to talk about a couple more sponsors on the AZ Wildcats podcast. So stick around, leave a like, and do not go anywhere. But if you are going somewhere and you do get into a serious accident or there is some sort of wrongful death litigation going on in your life, you had better call this number right now on your screen. Write this number down, whether it be in your notes app or analog pen and paper. 602-783-8841. That's 602-783-8841. That is the number of Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team. Now, why should you choose Mark and Alexis Breyer over some of their competition? It's because they make this their everything, right? This is their specialty. You're not going to, the burger place that also does sushi and hot wings and pizza. No, you're going to the husband and wife law team that specialize in serious injury and wrongful death. They specialize in just this branch of litigation. And it's interesting that they do that because the State Bar of Arizona has certified less than 1% of all lawyers in specialists of injury and wrongful death litigation. So you're getting the best of the best. You're getting the people who have dedicated time to studying this, learning this field, and executing at a high level, just like we love from our teams on the court. And plus, they actually go to trial. So if your case is serious enough to warrant a trial, they will get you there and get you success in that trial as well, because they are trial lawyers. And if a case needs to go to trial, they are ready. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at the link in our show notes below and tell them that the AZ Wildcats podcast boys sent you.
Not only that, Kevin, but when it comes to the content game, no one's doing it like husband and wife law team.
True.
They're giving us a run for our money over here at PHNX in terms of Valley social media content. You guys got to check that out for yourself. And you got to check out Rally House as well. I was over at Rally House's location at Tempe Marketplace earlier this morning filming some Territorial Cup content, as I already said on this podcast. And guys, it was like being in Disneyland as a kid.
Wow.
I mean, Kevin, you would have loved it, man. You're looking at the walls, other than one particular team on the right side of the store when you walk in, but we won't talk about them. You walk in, you just see Cardinals, Suns, D-backs, special sections for each team, U of A, some other school, lined up across the wall. They even had GCU, NAU sections for our friends over there. And man, was it special. Some of the best gear I've ever seen in my entire life. I have always, loved checking out their online catalog. I know me and you, Kevin, have gone through that together, but
they have lug nuts. They have Arizona lug nuts.
They do have Arizona lug nuts, but something about being in that store was just special. There was a different feeling about it. You got to check one out for yourselves. There's 3 locations here in Arizona. There is one up in Glendale out by the Cardinal Stadium, one in Mesa on the east side of the valley, and of course one in Tempe Marketplace, more centralized location for the people that are more in the city. And guys, Rally House is just so damn cool. You got to check it out for yourself. See some of the best gear you could get for the Arizona Wildcats, or any team for that matter that is local to this state. Check it out for yourselves. Go to rallyhouse.com or check out a Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at www.rallyhouse.com today.
Shout out to Rally House for helping me and Damon stay fly with our Arizona Wildcats merchandise. And also, I want to give a special shout out to Wayne Meyer on Twitter, who somehow, miraculously, shockingly called the exact final score to this game with the winner. With the winner, 71-67, Cats win. That's my prediction for tonight. BTFD. Man. Insane. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Wayne because that was nuts and deserved a shout out.
Underrated aspect of that, in this, not to come at you, my guy, but like everything all right with the eyesight there on the way you screenshotted that.
Let me pull it back up because maybe the answer is no. Oh, you know what? Hey,
Bro gave more space than you've ever seen on the right side. And
I just
the
wanted
left side. He almost cut off the damn number.
I just wanted the. I don't have an explanation, chat. I don't have an explanation.
I'm just worried about you, Kevin.
We
might need to get some sort of like vision care center sponsor in. We'll talk to Max about it. Get my guy Kevin a free consultation.
Yeah. I can see. I promise.
Yeah, aging, my guy.
Yeah, I am aging. You can't see it, but I am aging. That's a good thing. It's wisdom. It's not age. It's wisdom.
It is wisdom.
It's what it really is.
No,
but
I'm being mean. I'm punching down. I'm an old man. But we do have a couple more pain points, as you like to say, Kevin, to talk about here in regards to Arizona basketball. We talked about Braden Burries. We talked about Dwayne Aristode. We talked about the lack thereof of three-point shooting. And now I think it's time for me to go crazy because I got to talk about these baseline out-of-bounds plays.
Go nuts.
Or just out-of-bounds plays in general.
Yeah.
Listen, it just feels like it's a lot of like we're trusting our guys to out-athlete the other team's guys. And in most circumstances at Arizona, that's probably going to be fine. You're most likely going to be okay. But it's we've seen the cracks. Now against UConn, we've seen it against Florida as well. Like we've seen the cracks of what it looks like when we have a lead late, and it just feels like we're doing everything in our power to allow a team to get back into it, especially with carelessness with the basketball. Every single time there's a team scores a bucket, Kevin, late in a game, and then we have to reset under the basket to inbounds, and they have a chance to set their press, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. You have, Tobe Waka and Mo Krivas running down the court side by side, shoulder and shoulder, not providing an outlet to, the inbounder as maybe like a third option. You even have like Krivas having to tell Waka where he should be in that moment, which that was against Florida in particular, and I found that baffling. Yesterday, Tobe Waka does come back to the basketball with like 4.99 seconds into the being under the baseline, and then you throw it 8 feet in the air or 20 feet in the air, and he somehow comes down with it. It just doesn't feel like there's a designated plan in place. And I feel like Tommy Lloyd's too good of a coach for that to, be the case, Kevin.
Yeah. No, he definitely is too good of a coach for that to be the case. And I don't really know what the answer is because it is a multiple year thing now. It's a multiple season trend going on with Tommy Lloyd teams. And I just I'm not sure if it's him trying to figure out what he has with this year's team. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. But I said it last night, Damon, they just got to be more urgent with these baseline out-of-bounds plays. But that's my level of input that I can give. Like I said, I'll forfeit the rest of it to Tommy Lloyd, the X's and O's.
Purpose.
But, run the damn play, not just to run the damn play, but to get the ball inbounded safely and across half court, right? I don't know what it's going to take for Arizona to figure out that breaking a press is important in college basketball but it is important in college basketball, and they're going to have to figure it out how to inbound the ball before 3.5 seconds to where fans are watching the game like 1, 2, 3. Are we gonna? Hello? Someone call a timeout. Something needs to happen with these baseline out of bounds plays. I'm not really. It's been a while for me of being like, yeah, Tommy Lloyd's gonna fix it. He's gonna figure it out, guys. He hasn't figured it out yet, guys. So yeah, I don't know what the solution is, but you're right. This is a pain point, and when it gets down to the tournament and it gets down to these 1-2 possession games where teams are going to be pressing you hard, and hopefully Braden Burries is at a point where he's out there. You need a freshman in Braden Burries. You need Koa Peat, another freshman, right, to be able to either pass or receive that ball. I know ADO is in that conversation as well. Jaden Bradley's in that conversation. There's a ton of players in that conversation to get the ball once it's inbounded to them and then make the next move. But, man, something's got to change with these baseline out-of-bounds plays. Even some of the, like ATO inbounds plays are kind of interesting from Lloyd. I would just like to, see it kind of cleaned up.
Putting in here the inbounds under our own basket. How about the one where at the last second we threw it out of bounds to Anthony Del Orso, who probably should have been able to stay in bounds and have better court awareness. But like the point being, there was no designated play in place. It felt like it just was like, oh, someone get open. Why is that happening so often?
Yeah.
How is that something that we haven't fixed? Because I think when it happened all the time last year, you could kind of, hide behind the idea of like, well, this is the team that we have in place. Well, it's the players. But then when you consistently have this issue year after year after year, it starts becoming a coaching thing, I think, right? And baseline out of bounds stuff is like almost coaching 101. It's like one of the big
It's like day one install.
It's one of the big differences I think a coach can make in the game, right? Like think about a guy like Kevin Young and how seemingly when we played BYU last year, every time there was any sort of stoppage of play, BYU was getting a free bucket right away on offense. Every single time, because they had a designated play in place to get a bucket every time. And I feel like we need a more just concentrated effort out of Tommy Lloyd and his staff on the baseline out of bounds stuff. And it just needs to be a bigger point of emphasis in practice. I don't know how, obviously maybe they are practicing it a lot. Maybe it is something that they're, looking towards fixing. But it's just been too consistent of an issue to not talk about, I feel like, at this point. And like I said, it's that and the 3-point shooting and lack of volume, like trading twos with a really hot 3-point shooting team in the tournament, are the two things that hold me back of that's how you lose, man.
Yeah.
That's how you lose. And I got to see a little bit better out of Tommy Lloyd in that one.
Yeah, some people in the chat talking about it's the inbounder. You have to change the inbounder. The inbounder has to be more decisive and make better choices with the ball, where they're passing it, when they're passing it. Our boy Sam Albert says, can we stop having Krivas/Awaka on the ball on defense when they inbound? It immediately creates a mismatch in the other team's favor.
Noticed that last night as well. I believe it was maybe Riley, or not Riley, I keep calling him Smith.
Malachi Smith.
Malachi Smith who inbounded the ball, and Krivas was on him, and then Krivas is isolated against him one-on-one, and then I think he hit that mid-range jumper over him. And because Krivas had to give him a lot of slack, or else he'll blow right past him. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely an issue as well. We've talked a little bit about who we wanted to see as the passer potentially. Do you have any, maybe has that become at all clearer to you, Kevin, on some of these inbounds plays at the end of games?
I guess it depends on who exactly is in the game, but I'd be really interested to see Karchenkov do it.
I like Karchenkov.
I feel like he's been in, not to cut you off, but I feel like he's been in a lot of high leverage moments in Europe. Maybe not as the primary ball handler because he was coming off the bench, pretty deep off the bench over there. But he's seen it. He's heard what it sounds like, heard what the out of bounds calls look like, and I would like to see him if he can be trusted in that kind of scenario. I could see him having some really crafty inbounds passes where he understands the feel of the moment and the momentum of the game and where to get the ball when, and understanding that kind of pressure. I would like to see him get a crack at it.
I think you want your inbounder ideally to be able to hit a free throw because they might need to recollect the basketball after they pass it in. But if it's a scenario where they're going to try to foul immediately, I think Koa Peat's not a bad option. He's got height. He's got decent passing ability, and he's probably going to be on the court, and I don't want him shooting the free throw.
Yeah.
That's a big factor for me.
That's a good point.
Like, that was going to be my answer because I had an answer for that question when I asked you it. Koa Peat is going to have a ton of free throw shooting volume, so he's going to miss some free throws this year, no doubt. But like yesterday, for example, he wasn't good at the free throw line. He has these spurts where he shoots like 50% from the free throw line. He missed a front end yesterday that was really pivotal down the stretch when Arizona was trying to pull away. I think that he's definitely not who I want to see up there in the big moment to hit a free throw. So that's gonna, if he's on the court, I might want to see him be the passer specifically, so he's not having to go to the line. But hopefully this is stuff that's all worked out by Tommy Lloyd and his staff. Was there anything else on a point of emphasis standpoint you wanted to talk about, Kevin?
Not really. I think we kind of covered all the bases. I do want to give a shout out to turnovers, taking care of the ball.
Shout out
turnovers. We got to see a lot less of you. Hopefully you're not around come March turnovers. It was good, but you've overstayed your welcome. Arizona's got to take better care of the ball. We're not going to wax poetic on it. It's pretty simple. You cannot have extra possessions gifted to top 15 teams because it might not have did it in these first 3 attempts, but it could cost you down the stretch of the season. And we were going to talk about points of emphasis for the upcoming non-con games. We have so much time to talk about that I think we're going to push that back to the back burner because we got Baylor football entering Tucson, the Casino del Sol Stadium.
Shout out our guy Eric Duthie, who was up here in the chat talking about let's hashtag pack the soul.
Soul.
I know I was DMing with my guy a little bit, Kevin. He's fired up for Baylor versus Arizona. How could you not be? The Cats are coming off their, probably highest momentum, point of the season. We are currently 6.5-point favorites against Baylor on the weekend, minus 240 on the money line. We got a 66% chance to win according to K Ford ratings, 68.3 according to ESPN Analytics. All ultimately unimportant and meaningless, but point being, Arizona is the perceived favorite in this game, and man, would it be a big win and way to continue to snowball some momentum going into what will be obviously the biggest game of the season.
As Max says in the chat, and this is the most important thing, the A-10 Warthog flyover and Nick Foles honorary captain for Saturday feels like a big home game to welcome fan base back to football.
Hell yeah, brother. Is there anything better than that? I can't wait to.
A W at the end of it,
Kevin.
A W at the end of it would be really
W at
sweet.
the end of it would be beautiful. But yeah, I mean, this. Here's the thing: can't overlook this opponent.
No.
Got to keep the main thing the main thing. Arizona's not good enough to overlook anybody. They still were, in a close game with Kansas State, in a close game with Kansas, did get blown out by Iowa State. Granted, it was a much different Iowa State team, but you still have to take every single team seriously, even though Baylor is not playing their best football right now. So big game this weekend. I think the Cats are going to get the job done. We're going to preview more with Justin Spears tomorrow and give you a more in-depth look into Baylor versus Arizona. But Kevin, 2 days out, how are we feeling about the Cats potentially getting their 8th win of the season?
Feeling good. I mean, feeling good. We have a chance to have 9 wins this year, and that is not even including the bowl game that Arizona has clinched. I'm all about this. I know it's basketball season mentally in my head, but I know it's still football season in reality outside of my head. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm very pumped. Pack the soul. Damon will be boots on the ground, correct?
Yes.
Damon will be boots on the ground. We're coming to you live from the new Casino del Sol Stadium. Kind of a momentous appearance for Damon Dog.
Some people would say it was written in the stars.
That's a good song.
As a man that is, so locked in on Arizona football, season ticket holder my entire life until I moved to the Valley, maybe it was meant to be that I came down for this game.
I think it was meant to be. Deborah wants to know, will we have a show tomorrow for the Baylor game? We will be breaking it down. Deborah. Damon, I believe maybe after the comment was already, I don't know. But yeah, we will be breaking it down with Justin Spears tomorrow. Full breakdown, full pregame. And plus we got Erica Day coming on the show tomorrow talking Becky Burke Ball, Triple B, Big Burke brand on the show. So
electric. Very
excited about that. Make sure to not miss tomorrow's show. Make sure to not miss Saturday's pregame and postgame coverage because we're the AZ Wildcats pod. And that's just what we do. That's just how we do it and what we do.
Pedro, appreciate you joining in here, my guy. We did talk basketball, I promise, for the first hour of this podcast, so you'll just have to rewind it back and listen to it. We were just giving a quick little weekend look ahead to what was going on in the football side of things before we got out of here, because we don't want to just pretend like Arizona football isn't playing some damn good ball right now.
I'm still repping.
Capitalize on this momentum, man. Yeah, Kevin's got his Fafita shirt on. Like, this means everything, because this football program is, it's been through a lot, obviously, in the last, couple years here. And it's time for us as fans and, Arizonans, Tucsonans, all of the above, to show our support for this program and really show out. But I was texting with one of my buddies yesterday, Kevin, and I don't mean to put this on a downturn right now, but we obviously all knew this, but I'm looking at the Big 12 standings. Arizona wins against BYU and holds on there. We're in second place in this conference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Screw the Iowa State and the Houston games. Let's call those losses. If Arizona handles business versus BYU, they're 5-2 in conference, 8-2 overall, and sitting in, I think would be sitting in the current tiebreaker for the number 2 spot in the Big 12 championship.
That is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
And we have a good chance of winning our last 2 games of this season. I know there's been a lot of talk about this schedule being weak. I will say the schedule did break fairly well for Arizona this season in how it went. The one caveat to that being you got Iowa State at the worst possible time.
Correct.
You got Iowa State while they were playing their best football, and then their literal best game of the season, and they haven't looked anywhere close to that since. Other than that, you've probably gotten a good run of scheduling, but you got to take advantage of your run of scheduling, right? The same people who are calling Arizona's schedule the weakest schedule ever, their team literally won a 4-way tiebreaker to get into the Big 12 championship the year before and played a weak-ass schedule that broke exactly right for them. They played Kansas State when Kansas State started sucking. They played Kansas when Kansas sucked early in the season before they got really hot at the end of the season. Sometimes that's just the way of the world. And now Arizona gets Baylor at a really good time as well. Baylor, a team that had a lot of expectations going into this year.
But Dave Aranda's their head coach.
Speaking of bad takes.
Yeah, awful take.
I said Baylor was going to win the conference.
Yeah.
I'll wear that one.
I was right there with you. Maybe not winning it, but they were up there for me.
Here's what I will say. Early on, I was like, Texas Tech is, from what I watched, I was like, I was wrong. Texas Tech is the best team in this conference. It's not even close. And I've held true to that all season long. But early in the season, when it was very up in the air, I thought Baylor, because of their quarterback in particular, was going to be really damn good. And they've been pretty sucky. You got to take advantage of a team like that, especially at home, especially when Nick Foles is in attendance.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Let's get this W.
Let's get this super chat from AZCats G as well. Shout out. Says, love the Warthog flyover. Plain emoji, plain emoji, plain emoji, plain emoji. I will be boots on the ground in Tucson. Hell yeah.
Of course he will.
Hell yeah.
Of course he will.
And then Kevin? I mean, AZCats G is anywhere and anywhere that the,
was that a question?
The Wildcats are. Yeah, no, that's not a question at all. I also wanted to shout out
my guy might have been in stores last night chanting "U of A."
That was crazy. That was crazy. I heard Gamble was better than that, but I guess not. Bad Bats 1 wants to know crystal ball prediction, and this is a tough question, Damon. Do we win out in football and win a bowl game, or does Arizona basketball go to the Final Four? Which is more likely?
Man, I mean, I think you always have to say winning a bowl game.
No, but it's win out the last 2 games and then the bowl.
Oh, got you.
So go 3 straight.
Say, hypothetically, you have about a 50-50 chance, and I don't think you ever have a 50-50 chance of making a Final Four unless you have, one of the most insane college basketball players of all time on your team. Man, that's crazy. That's actually
a good
difficult.
Question. It's a good question.
I mean, let me see here on because Kelly Ford does do on their rating system what the odds are that Arizona wins their remaining games of the season here. So they have Arizona as a 33% chance to beat both Baylor and ASU, and then that wouldn't include the bowl game, which would hypothetically be about 50%, making that somewhere around 17, 16. Do you think Arizona has a better than 16, 17% chance to make the Final Four? I guess would be the question.
I mean, my gut is yeah. But also I think just flat out statistically, the answer is no, right? I feel like especially in the Big 12 conference. Like, who knows what the conference play looks like for Arizona this year? Texas Tech, Houston, Iowa State, BYU got killers in this conference. Don't know how that's going to turn out. And then you also have, the odds that, like last year, for example, if you beat Duke in the Sweet 16, who do you face in the Elite Eight? Houston, right? I think that was the case, or something like that. You would have ended up facing Houston to get to the national championship game anyway because they're on your side of the bracket. I'm just saying it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I think I'm going to side with football.
I think it's actually pretty close.
It is close, but I think I'm going to side with football because the season of basketball is so long and so many things can happen that you're giving me 3 opportunities to win out, as where Arizona basketball would have to have a good January, a good February, a good March, and then finish in late March, April. A lot of things could go awry in between there. So give me football, but it's close. It's real close. Great question, though.
It is a really good question. I'm going to take a quote from a wise little girl from a old El Paso taco shell commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Por qué no los dos, Kevin? Por qué no los dos? I want them both. I want it all. I want to shoot for the damn stars. I want to win out, and I want that Final Four. I want to see some nets cut down. And then, you know what? I'm greedy. Once I get to the Final Four, I'm not done there. It's not about getting tied for third place for Damon over here. I want that Final Four because I want to get it off my back, because I've been waiting on a Final Four my whole damn life. But once we get there, I'm 2 games away from a natty, Kevin, and that's all my eyes are going to be focused on. But if I'm truly answering the question, I think basketball.
Wow.
Because as much as I am fired up about this football team and I love the direction of this program and give so much credit to Brent Brennan for how he's handled things, they still are Arizona football. And I know you could make the same argument about Arizona basketball, but it's only year 5 of Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's a different era of Arizona basketball. And Tommy Lloyd will get us to a Final Four. I believe that with everything in my being. I would stake everything I own on that. Whereas with football, it always seems like it ends in just a complete fiery disaster. So I don't know, man. That's my pessimistic Arizona football brain, but I think I'm going to go with basketball. It's very close though. Drop your guys' answer in the chat. What do you guys think?
Pedro said football, I believe. That was their answer as well. And then I also wanted to shout out Sam Alberts, who said, yeah, you're not guaranteed to go to a Final Four unless you have a special player. Oh, wait, unless you have Mr. Arizona, Koa Peat, who is quite the special player. But Damon?
Absolutely.
I think that's all I had for you today. I think I'm done yapping your ear off.
I love it. Thankfully, now Kevin I can muzzle Kevin after the show, and he can go sit in his little corner of the room and not talk to anybody, because that's kind of how we treat him over here. But just kidding. Kevin's the best. Shout out Kevin. Of course, follow Kevin at KevoPost. That's KevoPosts. Doing all the great work over there from a social standpoint, meme standpoint, also getting some written articles out for the people. So please support my guy Kevin, read his articles, and go follow him on TikTok as well, which I think is what, Kevo TikToks?
Yeah, with 2 S's.
2 S's.
I don't know why I did that. I think it was probably taken. But
probably taken. Yeah. Brutal. Follow us over at PHNX_Wildcats on all social, except for our TikTok, which is over at AZ Wildcats Pod. And then, of course, follow me at Damon Dog if you want to see me fighting with people incessantly. I promise. I actually do have good interactions with people sometimes too. But appreciate everybody for watching this show. It means the world that you guys would spend an hour of your day, hour 18 of your day with me and Kevin. We love talking ball with every single one of you every day. And you guys do make the show so much better by adding in questions like that of who put it in there. I want to give them their proper shout out.
Bad Bats 1. I remember the username.
Bad Bats 1. It's just such a great question. Things like that add into the show. So important to have on here, guys. And feel free to tell your friends about this podcast. If you got some Arizona Wildcats friends, maybe a group chat, and maybe they're looking for some extra media coverage content around the team. Kevin and I are going to be bringing it to you all season long, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's women's basketball, whether it's baseball, whether it's softball, whether it's triathlon, natty champs, again, back to back. It doesn't matter. Kevin and I are doing it every day at 2 p.m. on this fine podcast. And we will be back tomorrow on a Friday previewing Arizona Baylor football with our guy Justin Spears. Shout out J. Espinosa in the chat. 199. Love this podcast. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. You're the man. Thank you so much, my guy. And I believe that's actually Pedro. I don't know. It's for some reason the super chats are showing not the but the
that's weird.
But the regular chats are showing the
But then AZCats G super chat.
YouTube's got some.
Yeah, YouTube got to figure their stuff out.
F crap going on.
Figure it out.
That's a little bit PG version of what I would say if I.
They got a heckin' problem, guys.
That's the AZ Wildcats podcast. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Please like this video, subscribe, and rate and review on your favorite podcasting platform, even if you are a YouTube subscriber, and vice versa. Helps us out if you can just do so on both platforms. Set it and forget it. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow to talk Arizona versus Baylor at 2 p.m. And until then, peace out. Bear down.
And go Cats. Bear witness to a special basketball team this season.
We all silly like the mayor.